Great.
That's my guess.
Is it a stormwater agreement? Work that out during your 30-day temporary.
We're pulling.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We are now live streaming.
Well,
So whatever
they
they
were
do.
Iverson tomorrow, he said. So,
We're on live.
All right.
That's good to hear.
yeah, in here.
And
Is there minutes here?
Was there already bought?
okay, good enough. So one executive session
One executive session.
under pending litigation.
So after, I will say that that would be number 7 on our list here.
And it'll be very quick.
That was 3 lots.
Yeah, me too.
We want to talk referendum at all at this point.
No, I actually had a very long conversation today with Chuck Malcolm, and he found an easier way to do it, and I'm going to have to talk to Ed about it. I didn't get a chance to.
Okay.
And I can bring that up briefly here. I think it's probably good to have it in public.
Hoping we're going to move.
Then they see what we're talking about.
Me too.
Ed, I'm going to ask you about any progress you've made on the parks.
Just an update.
On what? Planning of the parks for the referendum.
I don't think it should be.
I had a chat with Chuck today.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just let you know.
Okay. I haven't done much with it yet, but
It's fine. The upshot is, we don't have to be as specific,
okay.
but we want to make sure that we're
Inclusive.
high enough
Yeah, okay.
that we can cover.
See Amherst, they spent $8 million.
Yeah.
$8 million, Amherst bought that Westwood Country Club.
Oh, really? We got the invitation.
They bought country
They
club?
bought the old Westwood Country Club and made a park out of it. $8 million.
Wow.
And that's just the purchase price.
Yeah, and they have to, part of it's gotta be cleaned up because of fertilizer on the greens. So, I don't know. And they said they're gonna piecemeal it slowly, you know? That's $8 million.
Wow.
Do they capitalize that, bond it out?
I would assume. I didn't read it, I just saw it.
He's got it.
No, exactly.
Even Amber.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be this year.
I know.
Well, 43-degree difference from yesterday to today.
You're at 6:30.
All right, 6:30. As you might know or don't know, Supervisor Ruffino had some transportation issues coming home from his, where he was out of town, so he asked me to chair today's meeting. I guess first thing is, do we have any reports from Ed? And we'll go with Matt first. Ed, I don't know.
Several updates. I had an opportunity to prepare. As you might have seen earlier, I think it was earlier Monday, a week ago, I was able to respond to our community assistance visit with DEC. We made some progress. There's still a couple of things that are outstanding that need to be followed up on. Fortunately, after this meeting tonight, I'll be heading to Syracuse for the Stormwater Floodplain Management Conference. Members of that team are going to be there on site, so I'll be able to have a face-to-face communication with them. I did speak with both the planning board and the zoning board regarding software modules that we're investigating. I wanted to at least present that briefly tonight to this board, and I'd be happy to discuss, what options there are. I mean, it's a significant investment for both the planning board and the zoning board to manage their workload through a software program. Town attorney's office can dial in on it. And I had a demonstration the other day on web applications and payments, which unfortunately are not available with the planning. But again, as the board has questions regarding the software, I'd be happy to answer that, show pretty much how it works. But this is definitely something to consider for the 2024 fiscal year because it is a pretty good investment. Speaking of budgetary items, we do have a line item that really needs to be addressed. We had the emergency repair on one of our vehicles. We needed to transfer some funding into the vehicle maintenance item, and it has yet to happen. There was an email from the finance company to see what fund it needs to come out of, what line item out of the general fund. So if we could respond to that, get that transfer taken care of, it'll help us with our other financial obligations. And then I'll be forwarding some other information on a refund that was given to us from the Niagara Frontier Building Officials Association. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the January conference to get the 24-hour in-service trainings due to the workload that we had. So they refunded the money. The check was cashed and deposited into the general fund, and I'd like to get that back into our educational expense line. I do want to remind the board and the residents too that we're still in the middle of a burn ban. May 15th is the DEC, March 15th and May 15th is an open burn ban to prevent any spreading of wildfire, because we do have good conditions that'll do that. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Ed?
A couple things. The senior center, the authorization of bids on tonight's agenda, bid opening is May 10th. For the historical building, for the exterior repairs, the bid opening was Friday. There was one bidder, $67,000. I haven't had the architect go through the bids yet, but it was from local company, Erie Contracting, I think is the name. The Historical Society for the Opera House HVAC, that bid opening is April 26th. And for the schoolhouse, we're putting together the request for quotes. For the Youth Bureau doors, that advertisement is on tonight's agenda. That bid opening will be May 4th. Simi Road is reopened. Culvert itself is done. They have some work to do on either side, but they were able to get the road open, I think, early last week, so that's good. They're keeping the speed at 25, but they took down the detour sign, so. Speaking of culvert, Siebert Road, no update from DOT. It's still good. It still will be on the bond issues coming through for the next meeting. Erie Street water line. The water line work is complete. They met out there Friday with Highway to go over the paving options. I think they've worked something out. I don't know if you saw the email that came through late today from Jim.
Yes, it is.
Based on what the town would like to do and what was left in the contract, I think we can get the road paved shoulder to shoulder, so it'll be nice when it's finished. Genesee Street and Bowen Road water line. That bid opening was last Thursday. Low bid was 1.3 million, under the estimate of a little over 1.4, so that's good. They're not looking to start work though until, based on their schedule, they said until August, which is fine. The town hall soffits, we got the initial report, we got a ballpark high estimate from the architect, so we are comfortable with the numbers. I had a conversation with bond counsel on it. We had a bond from last year for town hall work. There's still money left in that. So in discussions with bond counsel, I asked them, I said, well, are we better off doing a new bond for the soffits, or we could amend the current bond, because it's still in a ban, it's not a bond yet. They said, no, just amend the ban, because the ban basically said repairs to town hall. So that will be on the next meetings also as part of one of the resolutions. I did talk to the bond counsel last meeting. We talked about having kind of a fund available for buildings and maintenance and a fund available for parks and rec. They cannot be general. They have to be specific projects. So I said, well, for parks, I know they want to do the playground and they want to do the backstops at Brickyard. So I'm going to get those write-ups to them. So those will be two projects that will come through for bonding. Regarding buildings and grounds, their suggestion was to set up a reserve fund. And so I've been in discussions with Mary in finance on that. She was going to see if she could set something up, and that would be a resolution also. So I have to get to you this week all the neg deck seekers for all the bonds. They're all type 2, so it'll be pretty simple. At the next meeting will be all the resolutions for all the bonds. The neg decks will go first, then the resolutions for the bonds. And then the only one that won't be passed is the water project. That has to be set for public hearing first. And the following meeting, you can do the resolution for the bond for the water.
Bond council's doing those resolutions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, working with Diane, yeah, yes, yeah. And that's all I have.
Quite a bit, thanks. Mr. Highway Superintendent, John?
As you heard from Ed,
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry, can you come to the podium, John? My bad.
forgot that name. As you heard from Ed, you know, we're ready to go on Erie Street. We've been reinforced the shoulder on that train track side for the past couple of weeks. We've decided on our paving schedule for the spring. We are going to be doing Summerfield, Farmview, Sugar Mill, Peachtree, Apple Blossom, and Brunk. We're going to look at up north, Stony Brook, stuff like that, late in the year. Just got to see how funds are. And we are swamped picking up brush right now with the nice weather we've had. So, update from Highway.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chief Karen? Nothing from Chief Karen? Well, that's good, I guess, right? At least doesn't give us an update. Want to go through the resolutions? Does anybody have any other committee reports or you talk about?
Just one question for John. John, the schoolhouse, we're going to try to do that
That'll
at
be
the...
done in the fall, we'll get that, sorry.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
And can I just add?
Sure, absolutely.
That Ed and myself and outside counsel are working on putting together a referendum in the fall, hopefully for the November election, for the purchase and installation of parks, a park. There's a lot's going to depend on, it's going to be sort of fluid, and there's going to be a high-low on it, because we don't know exactly how much per acre it's going to cost, how many acres we need, and depending on the size of the park, what we'll be putting in. But we're counting on somewhere, what we discuss, ballpark 30-ish acres, 25 to
20,
30
yeah,
acres.
20 to 30, I think would give you a point.
And with an eye towards a pickleball, soccer, some sort of softball or baseball, and then
Basketball.
playgrounds, basketball, maybe, or maybe not tennis, and facilities.
What about, will we have more space for lacrosse? I know that was a big issue people were talking about.
I don't know.
Something we're considering.
It wasn't brought up, but if you want it on the list, we'll, as long as we're putting together what might otherwise be described as a dream scenario, and the intention is to put it to the voters and see if they want that added expense in a permissive referendum, then if you're asking for possibility of lacrosse, then we'll add lacrosse to the
Yeah,
list.
I mean, unless it's a multi-use field.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
soccer and then lacrosse play in the same size fields.
Yeah, and if the board agrees to go through with this, it's very preliminary at this point as to what's going
Absolutely,
on.
very preliminary, but just put it out there, anybody who's watching, they can see that we're not sitting on it, and we're trying to get creative with our opportunities for funding.
Yes, Michelle?
Just so you know, Bernie and Anthony Rotella reached out to me about a
Oh,
grant.
you got to come to the microphone.
Bernie and Anthony Rotella reached out to me regarding a possible grant with a match. He's not sure of the match for the playground at Westwood again. So I have sent it to Supervisor Rufino. It should be coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which also has another tree grant involved also. That information will be coming to the town board on that, because they will need a resolution ahead of it if we're going to go for the application to meet the match. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on both.
And are we talking inclusive playground still?
He really wasn't in detail. He just knows we were going for the inclusive last time, and it came back up, so it would be good to probably go for it again because of the life expectancy of what's still there. So I just want to give the board a heads up that it will be coming down the road in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Anybody else have anything else? All right, you want to go through the resolutions real quick? I guess I will take Mr. Supervisor Rufino's resolutions on. So the first one, number 1, is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting. Pretty standard. Number 2 is to approve audited claims. Did everyone get a copy of them?
Yep.
Okay. There's a new total amount. You should have got the new fixed resolution. 3 is to acknowledge the building permit, issuance of building permits for the last 2 weeks. Number 4 is to set the public hearing for the residential, the commercial and unlicensed vehicle in residential areas. Myself, Tom, Matt, Fischone have been working on it with the planning board. So there's going to be 2 hearings that we set for the 1st and 15th of May, to give everyone a chance to comment on that. Number 5, Mr. Leary?
Number 5 is appoint Andrew Straight as a member of the Industrial Development Agency. Number 6 is adjust the rate of pay for part-time permanent court officers.
Number 7, as Supervisor Rufino's, which I'll do, is to authorize an agreement for the Town of Elmwood Fire Protection District regarding fire hydrant use between Bowen and Ransom Roads. Number 8, that would be Mr.
Number 8 is request bids for the Youth Bureau door improvements.
Number 9, Mark?
Authorize agreement Greater Niagara Mechanical for HVAC preventative inspection and maintenance, police and court buildings. Number 10, request bids senior center site additions project.
Adam, you have number 11.
Number 11 is private improvement permit application to approve for a pole barn pavement, curb, storm sewer, and a water line at 5071 Transit Road.
Mark, you have number 12.
Approve expenditure of funds for Marco Clay infield mix to Lakeside Sod.
I'll take number 13, is to appoint some parks, recreation, forestry, part-time temporary seasonal employees. Mark, 14.
Approve purchase of 5 Dodge Chargers, 1 Dodge Durango for the police department.
Okay, we're going to pull number 15 on a request for this meeting. 16, Mr. Rufino's, I will take to appoint Shannon McNichol, member of the Industrial Development Agency Board.
17, approve temporary assignment of Elizabeth Bertozzi for dog control department oversight. 18, authorize supervisor to execute SPCA agreement regarding adoption and euthanization services.
And number 19 is to authorize the special use permit for AC Power for their solar farm, and with the changes made from last week. And we have the 2 public hearings, too. I guess we'll take a 15-minute break, and we'll get at it in 15 minutes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the inspection of the solar panels is back in.
It never left.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Making sure.
Yep. Sounds good.
Spend a ton of time on it.
Working for
Thank you very
I
much.
believe it does what you want.
Okay. Protect the town. 20 years down the road, something's got to be done. We shouldn't pay for it.
Exactly. Oh, and I don't know if I answered your question fully. Inflation was included. It was actually like a 426 number, but the bond was for the security. Irrevocable letter of credit. It was 499 or thereabouts. So there was a built-in, I'm going to call it fluff. And I'm not saying that always be that's right, but it was built in at the time that the appraisal was. Right.
Yeah, I was aware of that with inflation jumping up as high as it did. Yeah, we just want to make sure it's going to keep going.
Yeah, we have the ability to ask for that.
Gets up to $1 million. You don't want to be 500,000 up in the bread.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Maybe it was to show
You were gonna come in and
See the thing.
we were gonna look at some software stuff? Yeah, that's fine. I'm here for you guys. When y'all are ready, yeah. It's all good.
How's it feel sitting there?
I'll do it once, and then you go back. I'll warm up the chair for a big for Bob's. Take over and remember you can do it.
It's fun to do it on a time-to-time basis, probably not.
It's gonna change things a little bit. Like I responded earlier today, right now, it's legal to build buildings, you can do whatever you want to do. Commercial spaces, I have different standards. When you refer to the house permit, you refer to the that's why we do it. And It's a big facility. 60 feet for us to see. Heat up 30. Heat up like 20 parking spaces out of his parking lot. Whatever those occupancies are, we have to count them so that
He called it, I didn't call him back. 'Cause I didn't-
he left a voicemail for me at the end of the day. I'm gonna try to get, I'm gonna have this with me all week. So, I'm still trying to catch up. Somebody unanswered email. So, I'm sure that by Thursday
She was one. She doesn't do it. With the building, we put the back egresses on the building for the retailer. Just for, because it didn't. But the few other egresses.
All I gotta say is after the second,
For your
On the very far.
from the Peter Cable.
watch your green tea to keep me rainfall.
I told you we have to maintain at least 48 inches. So as long as, and there's a, I directed that the alley, that's why it's split in half. Joint easement.
Right at the beginning.
This is, in an annual bubbles out. So what normally will happen is we'll put a step across. So what that does is that blocks the now this is your strength, your wall, that strength. What an aneurysm does without this is it blood flows out of that.
She's in. She got her kid. She's out. Someone had her. She got her cast.
So it's just, it couldn't have been caused by that.
Thursday got a game.
Like that. I told her I'm going to more coordinate. I have to have one person for the whole long.
Yeah, busy.
Naturally go back and forth.
That's the only thing that would have done.
Yeah, they're just trying to do a broad strength. Just to be there with in the open. And along out the back into the closed space.
Depending if you're working period, it gives you medication.
Yes.
Let's see how that is. So if that would be put in all
Asking me to just ask me.
Yeah.
In the minute I.
You're welcome.
You know, it's. What sheets are? Oh, you're really?
I said that
I'll give him an update.
First Amendment.
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily him, but I know it was part of that group of interested folks.
Yes.
Turn.
Well, they were at the village board meeting. And
That's what I always make sure it's the first thing I do before I walk away.
so I very thankful to our captains.
The old Dan Fire Department for the role of this kid down at Pine. So there always be one or two guys in the room that just dive on everything.
Good evening and welcome to the Lancaster Town Board meeting. Tonight we have 18 pre-filed resolutions. At the request of one of the board members, Resolution 15 is being pulled. We have 2 public hearings at 7:05, 1 executive session on pending litigation. My name is Councilmember Mazer. I'm taking over just for today. Supervisor Rufino had some transportation issues getting home from out of town, so I will be filling in. Tonight, we'll be closing the meeting in memory of Barb Geekus, Grace Dean, and Francis Bala. Roll call, please, Diane.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Here.
Councilmember Dickman.
Here.
Councilmember Leary.
Here.
Councilmember Mazer.
Here.
Supervisor Rufino.
Pledge of allegiance, please stand. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand, continue standing. Heavenly Creator, thank you for the great weather that our community enjoyed this past weekend. May you look down on us and bring us a mild spring so we can enjoy all the outdoor activities this community has to offer. Amen. Again, we have 18 pre-filed resolutions. If anybody wants to come up and talk about the pre-filed suspended resolutions, this is your time. Thanks, ma'am.
W. Master, 720 Schwartz Road. I'm here on behalf of Lee Chwania because he can't attend. This is on Resolution 17. With the full-time dog control officer out temporarily, What does that leave in staffing full-time and part-time, and the number of hours of coverage to manage the operation? I figure, Mark, you can maybe answer that.
Yeah, so Elizabeth is taking over for Jean while she's out, and she's taken call as well, about 3 to 4 days, because she can give us that with her son. And with Captain Gummo, we're working on that. We do have 2 part-timers that work on the weekend for that as well.
Okay, because the one concern is when she works Monday through Friday and she leaves, isn't there aren't you supposed to
We
check on the
have-
dogs every 4 hours, like during the night?
We do have 2 part-timers on the weekend.
During the week, in addition to the weekend?
Nope, just during the weekend we have that.
Okay, so
They
during the
would be-
week, when she leaves her shift and during the week,
Mm-hmm.
there's nobody to check on them during the night?
We do have, if I do recall, Captain Gummo or police will come in.
One of the police,
Somebody will come in.
Okay, that's what I was-
But it's the same, it's not changing
okay.
the way it's been done.
All right.
It's just they're short one person right now.
Okay, what else does it want here? Okay, has the requested task by the AG and Markets been completed, the project closed out, and the town receiving the $229,000 Animal Companion Grant money?
We'll kind of speak on it.
Yep.
It isn't fully complete yet. The MGR did try to get in to fix the floors this week again, and we are full. We're over capacity. Tonight, there's a resolution in conjunction with the SPCA, with Lancaster and Depew, to be able to take dogs from us, nice dogs. If anyone is looking, there are some sweethearts right now at our kennel that need adoption. Unfortunately, with COVID, people got dogs, didn't train them right. They may have been a little hyper. They go to work, they come home and probably, have destroyed some things. And now they don't want them. So they just kind of let them out of their house, let them run.
Yeah, that's-
And say, we don't want them anymore. And there are some really, really
They are sweet, I've seen
dogs there.
pictures of them.
They're just looking for a great
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
and love. So if anybody here or is listening, please reach out.
Yeah, I posted the pictures online too, so
Yeah.
little help
But
there.
that should help as well.
I hope so.
If we can get,
Yeah.
some-
Well, I
so
belong to an
rent
animal
SPCA.
rescue thing, so we're trying to,
thank you.
because there's, okay, thank you.
Sir, come on up.
I will make every effort to stay upward. This is regarding number 16, Point Shannon.
Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Paul F. Nosbus Jr., 31 Newell Avenue in the village of Lancaster, New York. This is regarding number 16, Point Shannon McNichol, member Industrial Development Agency. Now, the New York State Department of State oath affirmation of public officers, I will read it to you. This is their site, New York State Department of State oath affirmation of public officers overview. The New York State Constitution and public officers law require public officers, including elected officials, to take and file an oath of office. Public officers who are state officers will also need to file a related certificate pursuant to the public officers law. Oath of office. Members of the state legislature and all public officers, executive and judicial, are required to take and sign the oath provided by Article X111, Section 1 of the New York State Constitution before they commence the duties of their office. Public Officers Law, Section 10, also requires every public officer to take and file the oath required by law before he or she performs any official duties. This section also governs the procedures for administrative oaths of office and specifies the public office in which such oaths must be filed. Next, a public officer who is a quote-unquote state officer as defined in Public Officers Law, Section 2, must file his or her oath with the New York State Secretary of State. State officers include the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, state controller, members of the legislature, justices of the Supreme Court, regents of the university, and officers appointed by a state officer or the legislator. Next, a public officer who is a quote-unquote local officer as defined in Public Officers Law, Section 2, must file his or her oath in the office specified by the Public Officers Law, Section 10. Next, an oath of office for an elective office must be taken and filed before or within 30 days after the commencement of the term of office. An oath of office for an appointed office must be taken and filed within 30 days after notice of his or her appointment or within 30 days after the commencement of his or her term of office. Public Officers Law, Section 30 also provides special provisions for oaths or public officers who are active duty in the armed forces at the time of his or her election or appointment. Lastly, Public Officers Law, Section 30, provides that the office of a public officer becomes vacant when a public officer refuses or neglects to take and file his or her oath of office within the time required by law. As you all know, again, 30 days. Therefore, it is of particular importance that public officers take and file their oath of office within the time permitted by law. Supervisor's not here, I will read. Without overview, the New York State Constitution, which is second to our Constitution of the United States, the supreme law of this country, and public officers law. So since April 3rd, 2025 town board meeting on this is when, with a Lancaster Industrial Development Agency member, my understanding was just maybe that town of Lancaster has Town of Lancaster Constitution that supersedes the Constitution of the United States and even the New York State Constitution. So I Googled Town of Lancaster Constitution. I even went so far as to get on the Town of Lancaster, New York website. Again, I could not find the Town of Lancaster Constitution. So what is that telling the supervisor and town board members? No one, even the Town of Lancaster's town board, supervisor, and board members are above the Constitution of the United States or the New York State Constitution. And if the town of Lancaster supervisor or council members have a potential conflict of interest or lack of impartiality, you should recuse yourself or face legal ramifications while an officer in the town of Lancaster. And also with a town board member stating that a woman, quote unquote, needs to be on the Lancaster Industrial Development Agency. That is, quote unquote, reverse discrimination against men. It exists when a quote unquote ruling body, aka Town of Lancaster Town Board, structure with power of its own core, where the Lancaster Town Board has the power and the Lancaster residents have limited power, and the residents' quote-unquote democratic rights of our Constitution of the United States is affected.
Excuse me, Paul. I'm sorry. 5 minutes.
I must continue. Please, thank you. It's too important. I'll be done. Regarding Town of Lancaster Development Agency, member Shannon McNichol, did not fulfill the New York State Constitution and Public Officers Law to take and file within the 30 days oath of office after her appointment by the Town of Lancaster supervisor and council member term in the LIDA. Legally cannot make exceptions under New York State laws. I will be finishing up quickly. Let also I remind the supervisor and council members, Town of Lancaster Codes, Part 1, Administration Legislation, Chapter 8, Ethics, Article, Code of Ethics, 8-1, title article known as the Town of Lancaster Code of Ethics, and shall be identified local law, number 2 of the year 1995, designated as Chapter 8 of this Code of the Town of Lancaster, 8-2, purpose and scope. In part, this reads, quote, "Town of Lancaster to maintain the highest standards of integrity and public service," end quote, pursuant to Article 18 of the General Municipal Law and Policy of the State of New York. Under 8.4, conflicts of interest, I don't need to say anything more. And ending, the Town of Lancaster supervisor and certain council members did the service for the LIDA when in serving the residents of Lancaster on April 3rd, 2023, allowing politics over New York State laws and Town of Lancaster Code of Ethics. I need not to say anything further. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shame on you.
At this time, we have two public hearings. Number one, the special use permit for 515 Pavement Road, Suite 9. I'll read it, please. Legal notice is hereby given that pursuant to authority set forth in Chapter 400 zoning, I should probably ask for it to open the public hearing.
After.
Okay. Section 78, special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster and the Town Law of the State of New York, and pursuant to a resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster adopted on the 3rd day of April 2023, the said Town Board will hold a public hearing on the 17th day of April 2023 at 7:05 PM local time at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, New York, to hear all interested persons on the application of Kevin Heist, owner of Elite Aesthetics Detail LLC Automotive Detail Shop, to operate an automotive detail facility at the existing building located at 515 Pavement Road, Suite 9, in the Town of Lancaster, County of Erie. Can I have a resolution to open the,
A motion.
motion, excuse me, to
I'll
open?
make the motion to open.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Is anyone here from Elite Athletics Detail? You want to come up to the microphone and give us a little spiel here? Please state your
Kevin
name.
Heist.
Go ahead, Cal. Anything you want to talk about your business?
So it's a small detail shop in the new building next to the Lancaster Police Department. I've been detailing cars for a while and decided to open up my own little shop. It's nothing crazy, just pressure washing, interior paint correction, stuff like that. But thank you for making the motion and making it happen for me.
Thanks. Anyone have any questions for him?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak on special use permit number 1? Going once, going twice. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing 1.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Special use, public hearing number 2, excuse me, I'm sorry. Legal notice is hereby given pursuant to authority of the set forth in Chapter 400 zoning, Section 78, special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster and the Town Law of the State of New York, pursuant to resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster adopted on the 3rd day of April 2023. The said Town Board will hold a public hearing on the 17th day of April 2023 at 7:05 PM local time at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, to hear all interested persons on the application of Jack Desario, owner of Back Home and Yard Services, to operate storage facility at the existing building located at 515 Pavement Road, Suite 12, in the Town of Lancaster, County of Erie, State of New York. Can I have a motion to open the hearing?
Motion to open hearing number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
At this time, would anybody like to speak on public hearing number 2? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Can I have a motion to close?
Motion to close public hearing number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll have official reports. Town engineer?
There'll be more than what I gave in the work session.
Okay. Building zoning?
I failed to mention during the work session that May is Building Safety Month, so I'll be preparing a resolution for the first meeting in May. Just be a series of 4-week public outreach links where we can all work together to make all of our buildings a safer place, hold their property values, and keep their maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Highway Superintendent? John, anything? Chief Karn? We're good? Mr. Trojanowski?
Yes.
Anything that you'd like to speak about at the Youth Bureau? You want to come up to the microphone, if you please?
Things are moving along very nicely regarding the building repairs. They, next Monday, they will begin the flooring. The carpets have been put into the offices. We will have the desks put back into the offices on Friday morning. And our goal is hopefully we can start using the building by May 1st. So things are moving along. And we invite you to attend the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Thursday, May 11th at the Twin District Fire Hall. There are 21 youth and 2 adults that will be inducted that evening. It would be nice to have you there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, report from any town board committees? No? Okay. We'll go, I have one thing I have to mention. We're going to have a special meeting, this town board, on Thursday, April 20th, which is this Thursday at 7 o'clock, to celebrate the retirement of Chief Karn, and we'll have an executive session that day also, too.
You going to reopen the privilege of the floor?
Sure.
After the close of the public hearings?
Yes, you're.
Sorry. Yeah, do you mind if we talk about Resolution 19 real quick?
Resolution number 19.
I didn't mean to go out of order. I thought that you might go back to privilege of the floor after the public hearings.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Nobody is.
Thank you for, Councilman. Ari Goldberg from the law firm of Barclay Damon for pre-filed resolution number 19, AC Power special use permit renewal. With me is Ben Broder from the applicant as well. Just wanted to give a brief rundown of the application that's before you. I think 3 of the board members were back here in April 2021 when the town board first thoroughly reviewed the project and issued your special use permit. It included approval of a decommissioning bond letter, irrevocable letter of credit, and then also one of the other main conditions on the initial special use permit was compliance with all of the DEC approval conditions. We came back in October 2021 to receive the subdivision approval from this board, and then a month later obtained building permits, which were then renewed again in December 2022. Since initial attainment of the building permit, construction has proceeded very quickly, about several $1 million into the project already. Most recently, the building inspector came out to the site, and as I saw in your town communications from a few meetings ago, he did recommend renewal of the special use permit. As of today, heavy construction at the site will be done by April 23rd. That's in 6 days. So just wanted to give an update on the project, its construction status, and Ben and I are here to answer any questions now or if something comes up when you first present the resolution.
I do have one question.
Yes, Councilman.
I think you sent us information that the solar panels were coming from Cambodia. Was that it, where they're coming out of?
That's correct. That was the same Department of Homeland Security border entry summary that was submitted. It was one of the conditions on your initial approval. We submitted it to obtain our building permit, and we saw that it was another condition on the renewal, so figured we'd give it to you again.
Okay. And has anything changed on that? Are any of these solar panels coming from anywhere else? A certain number coming from there? Anything coming from anywhere else?
100% Cambodia. And
Okay.
most of them are, I think the building inspector, when he was there, he noted that they're all installed. Do you know how many panels remain roughly or anything like that?
About 98% of the modules have been installed at this point, and they all came over in one shipment.
And Matt, did you inspect those panels?
I did not physically walk up to each and every panel. I did visit the site. I checked in with the site office, re-verified the delivery invoice from Homeland Security, which was forwarded over to the town attorney's office. We have special inspection, I believe that will be provided to us at the end of the project, verifying all the structural elements of that facility.
Okay. So again, I think we should leave that on there till the inspection is done and it's verified that that's what they're using. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave. Real quick.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to mention the Parks and Recreation is doing our annual Arbor Day celebration, and it's Saturday, the 29th, from 9 a.m. to 12 at Westwood Park. Going to be refreshments, hot dogs, tree planting demonstrations. We have Davy Tree there doing demonstrations. We have speakers on invasive species, stuff like that, so love it if you guys could show up. Okay?
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
At this time, we'll start going through the resolutions. I will take some of Mr. Rufino's resolutions. So number 1, be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held April 3rd, 2023 be and hereby approved. Have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Resolution number 2, be it resolved that the following audited claims be and hereby ordered paid from their respective accounts as per abstract to be filed in the office of the town clerk by the supervisor's office, to wit, check run number 041-72023. Total amount hereby authorized to be paid is $471,994.67. Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Honorable Town Board, offer the following resolution, move forward to adoption. Be it resolved that the following building permit applications be and are hereby reaffirmed. Now therefore be it resolved that the building permit applications here encoded CSW for conditional sidewalk waiver be and hereby reaffirmed with the waiver of the town ordinance required for sidewalks. However, the waiver is granted upon the express condition that the town of Lancaster at any future date reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the expense of the property owner. Second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Resolution number 4, whereas the municipal home rule law of the state of New York, Chapter 26 of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, provide an adoption and enactment of local laws, and whereas the town board of the Town of Lancaster is considering a local law revising Chapter 400 of the Lancaster Code zoning, Article 4, updating 400-16D, commercial and/or unlicensed vehicles in residential areas, a copy of which local law is available for review at the town hall, and whereas pursuant to the Town of Lancaster Code and Municipal Home Rule Law, a public hearing is required on the local law. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster that number 1, 2 public hearings for the revised local law is hereby set for 1st and 15th of May, 2023 at 7:05 p.m. 2, the town clerk is directed to provide notice of the public hearing as required by law. And 3, this resolution is effective immediately. Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Councilmember Leary, you have 5 and 6.
Yes, sir. Honorable Town Board members, I move the following resolution for adoption. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has the responsibility and authority to make appointments to the Lancaster Industrial Development Agency, and whereas Andrew Straight of the Town of Lancaster has submitted his request to be appointed a member of the Lancaster Industrial Development Agency, now therefore be it resolved that Andrew Straight of the Town of Lancaster be and is hereby appointed to the position of member, Lancaster Industrial Development Agency, and be it further resolved that this appointment shall be effective immediately.
Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
No.
Number 6, honorable town board members, I move the following resolution for adoption. Whereas Anthony J. Servey, Town Justice, and David S. Stabler, Town Justice of the Town of Lancaster, by letter dated February 14th, 2023, have requested an adjustment to the pay rate for the following part-time permanent employees. Now therefore be it resolved that the following individuals, titled as court officers, are hereby given adjustments to their rate of pay as follows. Each of the members here will be getting their current rate of pay is $19.10. The pay rate per hour being requested is $22.50, effective date of April 18th, 2023. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing.
Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Resolution number 7, whereas Water District Number 1 of the Town of Elma maintains hydrants within the Town of Elma along the southerly line of Hall Road between Bowen Road and Ransom Road, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, on behalf of the Fire Protection District of the Town of Lancaster, has heretofore contracted with Water District Number 1 of the Town of Elma for the use of said hydrants, and now seeks to extend the contract for the use of said hydrants, and whereas the Fire Protection District of the Town of Lancaster seeks to pay the Water District Number 1 of the Town of Elma a sum of $161 per hydrant per year for a total of 15 hydrants along the southerly line of Hall Road between Bowen Road and Ransom Road for a period of 5 years commencing April 1st, 2023 and terminating on March 31st, 2028. Now therefore it be resolved that the supervisor be and hereby authorized to execute an agreement by and between the Town of Lancaster on behalf of the Fire Protection District of the Town of Lancaster and Water District Number 1 of the Town of Elma for hydrant rental in the amount of $161 per hydrant per year for a total of 15 hydrants along the southerly line of Hall Road between Bowen Road and Ransom Road for a period of 5 years commencing April 1st, 2023 and terminating March 31st, 2028. And be it further resolved that should Water District Number 1 of the Town of Elma install an additional hydrant or hydrants required for future construction rental for said hydrants shall be paid in accordance with the contract between the parties presented. I have a second.
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes. Mr. Leary, number 8, please.
Yes, sir. Honorable Town Board members, I move the following resolution for adoption. Whereas Edward Schiller of William Shutt Associates, P.C., the Town of Lancaster's consulting engineers, by letter dated April 11, 2023, has requested that the Town Board authorize an invitation to bid for the installation of inner and outer entrance doors at the Youth Bureau located at 100 Oxford Avenue in the Town of Lancaster. And whereas the Town Board has given the review and consideration to the request for the installation of inner and outer entrance doors at the Youth Bureau and deems it in the public interest to invite public bids in conformance with General Municipal Law, Section 103 of the State of New York, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby invites public bids for the Youth Bureau building improvements. Said bids are to be in conformance with the plans and specifications which are available at the office of William Shutt Associates, P.C., located at 37 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, 14086, and to be received in the office of the Town Clerk here at 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, no later than 10 a.m. local time on May 4th, 2023, and opened thereafter.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the roll? I'm sorry, on the question, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer?
Yes.
Honorable Town Board, I'm offering Resolutions 9 and 10 for adoption. Whereas the Town of Lancaster previously entered into an agreement with Greater Niagara Mechanical to provide preventative inspection and maintenance services for the HVAC system located within the Town of Lancaster's Public Safety Police and Court Building. And whereas said contract expired according to its terms on March 31st, 2023, and whereas by letter dated March 28th, 2023, Shell Barbaro has requested to continue the agreement for preventative inspection and maintenance services for the HVAC system located at the Lancaster Public Safety Building with Greater Niagara Mechanical for another year. And whereas funding for this service is available from the town's 2022 buildings miscellaneous contractual services budget, line item 01-1620.4011. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves and authorizes the supervisor to execute the proposal between the Town of Lancaster and Greater Niagara Mechanical to continue to provide preventative inspection and maintenance services to the HVAC system located within Town of Lancaster's public safety buildings commencing April 1st, 2023 and terminating March 31st, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $5,480 per their quote proposal dated
March 22nd, 2023, and which will be paid for with funds available in the town's 2023 Buildings Miscellaneous Contractual Budget. Shouldn't it be 2022? Whereas. See where it says whereas, town's 2022 buildings? 2022, 2023? Should that be 2023?
Where? I'm sorry.
The last whereas.
Fourth whereas.
2023, correct.
Okay.
My apologies.
Oh, okay. All right. Can I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes.
Resolution number 10, whereas Edward Schiller of William Shutt Associates, the Town of Lancaster's consulting engineers, by letter dated April 11th, 2023, has requested that the town board authorize an invitation to bid for the Senior Citizen Center Site Additions project, consisting of installation of an asphalt pickleball court, gazebo, and concrete sidewalks at 100 Oxford Avenue, Lancaster, New York. And whereas the town board has given due review and consideration to the request for the Senior Citizen Center site additions and deems it in the public interest to invite public bids in conformance with General Municipal Law, Section 103 of the State of New York. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the Town of Lancaster hereby invites public bids for the Senior Center Site Additions project. Said bids are to be in conformance with the plans and specifications which are available at the office of William Shutt and Associates, 37 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, and to be received in the office of the town clerk, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, no later than 10 a.m. local time on May 10th, 2023, and open thereafter.
Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes. Mr. Dickman, number 11?
Thank you, Honorable Board. I offer Resolution 11 for adoption. Whereas James Basil of JBC Properties LLC, 5077 Transit Road, Lancaster, New York, has applied to the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster for a permit for private improvements upon real property in the Town of Lancaster on 5071 Transit Road. And whereas the town engineer and the Town of Lancaster have certified on the following permit application that he has reviewed the improvement plans and permit application for the installation of the private improvements requested, and that they conform to the ordinances of the Town of Lancaster. Now therefore be it resolved that the private improvement permit application number 848 of James Basil of JBC Properties LLC, 5077 Transit Road, Lancaster, which is a permit for private improvements for the installation of a 15,000 square foot pole barn, pavement, curbs, storm sewer, water line, and sidewalks.
Can I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes. Mr. Burkhart, number 12, please.
Honorable Town Board, I am offering Resolution 12 for adoption. Whereas by letter dated April 10th, 2023, from John Pilato, the Town of Lancaster Highway Superintendent has requested the Town Board approve expenditures for Marco Clay infield mix to be used for maintenance of the diamonds throughout the Town of Lancaster softball and baseball field. And whereas by letter dated April 10th, 2023, John Pilato has recommended that the Town of Lancaster authorize said expenditure from Lakeside Sod, 6660 Goodrich Road, Clarence, New York, in an amount not to exceed $20,000 per its quote dated February 8th, 2023. And whereas this project will be paid for with funds from the line item 37-7000-400. Now therefore it be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the expenditure of funds as requested by Highway Superintendent John Pilato to Lakeside Sod in an amount not to exceed $20,000 per its quote dated February 8th for Marco Clay infield mix.
Can I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. Resolution number 13, whereas John Pilato, Highway Superintendent of the Town of Lancaster, by dated letter April 11th, 2023, has recommended the appointment of the following individuals to the following part-time, temporary, seasonal positions. Now therefore be it resolved that the following individuals are hereby appointed to the following part-time, temporary, seasonal positions in the Parks and Recreation and Forestry Department for a period not to exceed 5 months, that these being part-time positions provide no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time temporary employees. The name is Kyle Backert, laborer; William Chilelli, laborer; John Cook, laborer; Connor Mahoney, laborer; and Richard Fry, recreation supervisor. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. Mr. Burkhart, number 14, please.
Honorable Town Board, I am offering Resolution 14 for adoption. Whereas the Town of Lancaster Police Patrol Captain Jonathan Zeiders, by letter dated March 29, 2023, has requested the purchase of 5 new 2023 Dodge Chargers all-wheel drive vehicles and 1 new 2023 Dodge Durango Pursuit for the use by the Police Department. And whereas the above referenced vehicles are available for purchase under New York State's piggybacking law through the Onondaga County Division of Purchase 071-05 Police and Administrative Vehicles. Bid reference number 001-0808 from authorized vendor Robert Green Auto and Truck, which eliminates the need for competitive bidding pursuant to subsection 103 of General Municipal Law. And whereas Captain Zeiders has recommended the purchase of the 5 2023 Dodge Chargers all-wheel drive vehicles and 1 Dodge Durango pursuant to accordance with said specifications be made from Robert Green Auto and Truck for a unit price of $37,571.53 for each 2023 Dodge Charger pursuant all-wheel drive and $43,047.40 for the Dodge Durango. Whereas the Town Board deems it in the public's interest to approve the purchase of said vehicles, now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the purchase of 5 new 2023 Dodge Chargers all-wheel drive, 1 new 2023 Dodge Durango, which equates to a total expenditure of $230,905.05, which will be paid for with funds from the town's 2023 Public Safety Equipment Passenger Vehicle Budget Line, item P005-3120-02220.
Can I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. I will be pulling resolution number 15 on the request of council member, and resolution number 16, I will be pulling that as it is no longer needed because all positions on the LID board are filled. So question 17, Mr. Burkhart?
Honorable Town Board, I'm offering 17 and 18 for adoption. Whereas the full-time dog control officer is temporarily unable to work in the Town of Lancaster Dog Control Department, and whereas in order to ensure that there is effective oversight of the department in the short term until the full-time dog control officer is able to return to work, the Town Board has determined that it will assign full-time Assistant Dog Control Officer Elizabeth Bertozzi to provide department oversight on a temporary basis, and Elizabeth Bertozzi has consented to such assignment. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Lancaster Town Board hereby approves the assignment of Elizabeth Bertozzi to provide general oversight to the department on a temporary basis, and approves to compensate Elizabeth Bertozzi during this temporary assignment on a step at 85% of the $51,511 salary, and be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing.
Can I have a second?
Second?
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. Mr. Burkhart, number 18, please.
Whereas the town of Lancaster provides dog control services to its residents as well as those in the villages of Depew and Lancaster. And whereas according to the New York State Agricultural and Markets Law, Article 7 and Article 26, any dog may be put up for adoption after being held for the legal holding period as determined by the law. And whereas the town of Lancaster entered into an agreement with the Erie County Society for Preservation of Cruelty to Animals, a non-for-profit corporation beginning January 1st, 2014, with renewals subsequent thereto to provide adoption, animal cruelty investigation, and euthanasia services for the seized dogs within the town of Lancaster, which is now up for review and renewal. And whereas the Erie County SPCA has prepared and presented an agreement to the town of Lancaster to provide adoption, animal cruelty investigation, and euthanasia services for the seized dogs within town per the conditions contained therein for a term commencing March 1st, 2023, with automatic annual renewal subject to a 30-day written termination clause, which agreement has been reviewed and approved by Lancaster Dog Control Officer Gene Carn and the town attorney. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby approves the agreement between the town and the Erie County SPCA, a nonprofit corporation having offices located at 300 Harlem Road, West Seneca, to provide adoption, animal cruelty investigation, and euthanasia services for the seized dogs within the town of Lancaster, and hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute said agreement, which will commence March 1st, 2023, with annual renewals and termination according to the terms of agreement as presented.
Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. Resolution number 19, whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster has hereto held a public hearing on March 1st, 2021 pursuant to Chapter 400 zoning, Article 14, Administration and Enforcement, Section 78 of the Code of the Town of Lancaster, upon the application of Andrea D. Benedardis of AC Power 14 LLC for a special use permit to install 2 co-located ballasted community solar PV facilities to be located on 2 parcels on Gunville Road, locally identified as SBL numbers 83.00-6.1 and 84.1-1 in the town of Lancaster, New York, and the board issued such special use permit on April 19, 2021, which is subject to renewal biannually upon application by the property owner, and whereas by letter dated 17th of March 2023, Ari Goldberg, Barclay Damon, LLP, representing AC Power 14 LLC, has requested that the town board renew the special use permit for an additional 2-year period, and whereas the code enforcement officer has recommended the approval of the special permit renewal in this letter dated March 21st, 2023, now therefore be it resolved that, number 1, pursuant to Chapter 400 zoning, Article 11, solar energy facilities, Section 58, special use permit requirements, and Article 14, administration and enforcement, Section 78, special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. Town Board of the Town of Lancaster is hereby grant AC Power LLC a special use permit to install 2 co-located ballasted community solar PV facilities to be located on 2 parcels on Gunville Road in the Town of Lancaster, upon the terms and conditions set forth in the zoning ordinance for the period beginning April 19, 2023, and ending April 18, 2025, subject to the following conditions. A, permit must be renewed every 2 years at no additional cost to the applicant. Renewal request is considered upon the property owner submitting a request in writing to the town clerk on or before April 18, 2025. B, applicant will authorize representatives from the building inspector's office to enter the premises upon reasonable notice to inspect the premises to verify compliance with with this permit. C, the applicant, AC Power 14 LLC, should maintain, or shall maintain, the previously approved irrevocable decommission letter of credit, ensuring the proper removal of all equipment associated with the solar facility project and restoration of the landfill to its pre-construction state. The underlying decommissioning reclamation cost estimate, inclusive inflation, was previously approved as part of the applicant's special use permit. The letter of credit shall continue to be the benefit of the town of Lancaster in the amount of all factors, including but not limited to environmental liabilities, decommissioning costs, and reclamation costs as outlined in the reclamation cost estimate, which applicant previously submitted, and which took into account the costs associated with inflation, changes in recycling standards, return to the land to its original contour, and establishing sustainable vegetation. Sufficiency of the value of the letter of credit shall be reevaluated by applicant at applicant's expense at the request of the town when the town reasonably believes that the cost and inflation warrant future consideration. And D, the applicant, AC Power 14, shall provide to the town board the name of the supplier of all solar panels to be used in Lancaster solar projects, which will identify what country the solar panel parts came from and what country the solar panels were assembled in before they are installed. And E, the special use permit terminates when the applicant no longer owns the business. Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazer.
Yes. That goes through the pre-filed resolutions. We have the presentation of the communications by the town board. Communication reports, number 205, received and filed. Number 206, received and filed. Number 207, Planning Committee. Number 208, for resolution tonight. 209, received and filed. 210, received, resolution for tonight, excuse me. 211, resolution tonight. 212, Planning Committee. 213, Planning Committee. 214, Planning Committee. 215, Planning Committee. 216, resolution tonight. 217, for resolution tonight. 218, received and filed, and 219, received and filed. At this time, we open the floor to anyone that has any other concerns. Going once, going twice. Sure.
I rarely do questions here. I try to keep them, but while you're all sitting here. For the solar panels, just I thought it was an interesting point. Where does the steel come from? I understand that they ship the parts to Cambodia and then they're assembled there.
Well, we were told that everything is being done in Cambodia, and there were some invoices that we saw that the stuff was brought through Homeland Security, and it said it came from Cambodia.
Okay.
I'm requesting that our code enforcement officer take a look at that and verify everything he possibly can, because we really don't want to be dealing with Communist China at this point in time. So if they're claiming it came from there and everything is, somehow came from there, it's great. And if it hasn't come from there and we find out the majority of the product or whatever hasn't come from Cambodia, that's going to raise some problems.
Yeah.
So you ask a very good question. Generally, when it comes to customs, old job I had, the majority, if the stuff was assembled where they said it was, the majority came from where they said it was, they would pass it through as it came from that country of origin. So again, I'm very interested to see where this stuff came from. As I stated before, we really don't want to be dealing with Communist China at any point in time.
Yeah, I hear your concern for sure. Okay, cool. And then also with, I didn't hear too much exposition on the replacement of Miss McNichol with Mr. Straight. Just if there was anything anyone wanted to say on that. I know that last week you tabled it until now, and I was just wondering if there were any extra thoughts on that.
I can basically read from you for the bylaws, which I sent you before.
Yeah.
But basically, the membership of the agency shall consist of not less than 3 members, nor more than 7 members, each appointed by the town board of the town of Lancaster. Okay, so we're up to 7 at this point. There wasn't another opening for her. She was in a position, since she did not fill out her oath of office card, she was basically what they call a holdover, meaning she could sit there up until such time as somebody else was appointed.
Okay.
And that other individual has been appointed at this point.
Fair enough. All right. Those are my 2 questions. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You do have his name, so, okay. Anyone else? Okay. At this time, we need to have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Leary?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazur?
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
We'll get there before 11 o'clock.
Thank you, guys. Make it go smooth. I appreciate it.
I could be there by
Make
10.
it go smooth.
Syracuse? Yeah.